What's up, guys? We are back with a full day of NBA action here on Saturday, April 19th, the first official day of the real NBA playoffs. We're going to break down all four games on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under. We're also going to dive into a ton of player props for each game, so definitely check that pinned comment throughout today to see if there are any changes. Although there should not be, all the lines and stuff have been out here for a minute, and we're not expecting any surprise injury news. Do me a big favor, slam that like button. It's free, helps me a ton, and shows your appreciation for all the free information out there. Think of it as tipping, but here it's absolutely free. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. That'll help keep you from missing our daily videos. Comment below with any bets you're looking today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. Just for the record, guys, no recap. We're actually traveling here for Easter with the family. Little guy's first Easter, so it's going to be very exciting, but these videos are pre-recorded here. I'm currently recording this video on Thursday night. Guys, quick reminder, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball is in our most profitable sport the last 3 years running. It's off to a fantastic start. I think 13-3 through Thursday over the last 13. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff over there. Our premium capper over there at Stump the Spread for Major League Baseball has been absolutely nuts. He's not me. He's somebody else. He is a genius. So definitely want to be following him if you guys have the chance. Get over there to Stump the Spread, sign up for our free email list. That'll get you free picks straight to your inbox every day, including a no-run first inning parlay. If you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member here on Easter. We'll be doing a random drawing, so one channel member will be walking away with a free hoodie. As always, guys, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of this very exciting playoff slate. It's a noon game between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers. The Milwaukee Bucks eventually ended up in the 5 seed out there in the East, so not exactly where they were aiming, but with all the injuries and the frankly pretty bad injury luck they had over the course of the season involving Dame Lillard here, especially at the end of the year, I think they should be relatively happy settling there in the 5 seed. Now, the talk of the town is that we're eventually going to see Dame playing in the playoffs this season. So apparently he's targeting coming back at some point during this series. I would guess for game 3 there in Milwaukee, but we'll have to see. The word right now is that he will not be playing in this current game here, at the Pacers here in game 1 of the series. So that's obviously not ideal. The Bucks, though, have, done pretty well here down the stretch this season. They ended things 8-2 over their last 10 games on an 8-game winning streak. Giannis has been looking incredible, guys, and he comes into this game fully healthy, so that's nice. He's going to be looking to have a huge playoff showing. Now, when you're having to start Ryan Rollins, that probably doesn't feel great. There are some decent shooters there around Giannis. I mean, Brook Lopez, Kyle Kuzma, Taurean Prince, but Gary Trent Jr. coming off the bench, a very solid shooter. AJ Green, Derry Bird, when he can get open, a good shooter. Bobby Portis coming back has been a huge burst for this team, and Kevin Porter Jr. to me seems like the real wild card for this group. Like, he's the guy that has to kind of step into that role where Dame should be and put up all that extra scoring. Now, Giannis, he shot the free throws a lot better here down the stretch than he did in the first, I would say, 80% of the season. So give him credit for improving here, in crunch time. But is that going to look the same in the playoffs? We've seen Giannis struggle from the free throw line kind of throughout his career, and that could be a definite concern here in the playoffs. But also, bro's been shooting it better from the line, so maybe that will be totally okay. Overall, guys, not too upset with what we're seeing from Milwaukee. Obviously, missing your second best player is a problem, but could that make their defense slightly better? I think that's theoretically possible, maybe not necessarily a lock or anything like that, but we have seen the Milwaukee Bucks on defense look decent at times, but overall over the course of the season, especially with Dame out there, that perimeter defense really lacked a lot of punch. So we'll see what happens. Dame is off the blood thinning medication. It sounds like he could be coming back. So it's certainly a possibility here. Now, they would love to have him back here for game 1. If they get him back for game 3, I think they'll settle for that, but they're going to need all the help they can get here on the road against these Indiana Pacers, who come into this game. Obviously, they finish things up in the 4 seed. They get home court advantage, a 2-game cushion there over the Milwaukee Bucks. So well played there. They finished their season extremely strong as well, winning 8 out of their last 10. So a lot of positives right now in this game and just in this matchup, and just overall for the Pacers. They managed to win 50 games, a 50-win season in the NBA. Not easy. Now, out in the East, might be a little bit easier. It does appear there's a chance there is some injury news for this team. Ben Shepherd, guys, didn't play there against the Cavaliers with that toe issue. It's not 100% clear if he's going to be available in this game. I would say he'd probably be somehow available, but he doesn't move the needle too much for me in this one. Now the Pacers got to be feeling very happy with what they've seen over the back half of the season from Tyrese Halliburton. Bro got off to a terrible start to his year. It was not looking good at all, but he figured things out down the stretch and has been putting up great scoring and assist numbers here over the last, I would say, 30 plus games, at least ever since the All-Star break. Seemed like things were pointing in the right direction for Halliburton, probably even before that a little bit. Nembhard's had a good season. Neesmith's had a good season. Pascal Siakam's been the most solid player on this roster all year long, putting up very, very good numbers, and he plays hard on both ends of the court, so that's certainly a big help. Miles Turner has dealt with the occasional injury thing, but he's looked like a solid center option for sure. There are plenty of teams out there that would love to have a Miles Turner on the squad, and he's doing his thing out there. We'll see what goes on with him next season, but right now, I think he's locked in and ready to help these Pacers make a deep playoff run. Now, the bench, obviously seeing Mathurin off the bench looks pretty good. TJ McConnell's had some big moments this season, but Obi Toppin has really been the guy that's gone crazy off the bench for this team. He's had some nuts scoring games where he's had to shoulder more of the scoring burden with a lot of guys sitting out, and overall, he looks like a very, very dangerous option off the bench. Obviously, he's got that insane athleticism, and when that three-point shot is falling, everything changes drastically for Obi Toppin. So a lot of positives here for the Pacers. They're a team that likes to play up tempo. They're a team that likes to, they're going to get after it. They are going to get after it. Not a lot of defense necessarily, but a lot of offense. And looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the odds makers, they like the Pacers here quite a bit at -5.5. We've got a total of 225.5. Milwaukee 19-20-1 against the spread on the road. 21-19 to the under on the road. The Pacers 17-21-3 against the spread at home. 21-20 to the over at home. This total here of 225.5 seems like a big number, but I think I'm leaning towards the over in this game. I don't know if I'm leaning towards it aggressively enough to put it in the pinned comment necessarily. That seems like a little bit much, but I definitely think that, there's going to be plenty of offense in this game. The Pacers are going to get up and down, and I don't think Giannis is going to be too upset to do that as well. And speaking of Giannis, guys, I don't know if this is going to be, he's going to have enough in the tank in this. Now, we'll see. He's obviously got to try and carry this team, but looking at this spread, I am leaning towards the Pacers here at -5.5. I think it's a very reasonable spot for them. I don't know if it's a good enough spot to go in the pinned comment, but we definitely want to give out at least some play here on the side. And I think the Pacers are where you want to be at home in this game. Obviously, game one can get a little bit sketchy. Sometimes the road team has a chance to steal it, but I think where we'll really see the Bucks get into this series is potentially there in game three with Dame possibly coming back or some transcendent Giannis performance, but it's kind of hard to guess when that's going to be. So now we've looked at the bets on the side and over-under. Let's dive into those player props. And first up, we're looking at Giannis, guys, and I think we're going to see him get over 31.5 points in this game at -110. It's a very reasonable price. Like we talked about a whole bunch, guys, no Dame. Giannis kind of has to be the whole offense out there. He's looked unstoppable down the stretch of the season. He's been making his free throws, which helps out a ton. Makes people a little bit more hesitant to, be draped all over him when he's headed to the basket. That helps a lot. And obviously, you get to the line, you make closer to 70% than closer to 50%. You're going to be putting more points on the board. So looking at him to get 32 points in this one, I don't think that's going to be too crazy in what I expect to be a fast-paced game. Now, guys, over on the Pacers side, I'm looking at Tyrese Halliburton over 19.5 points at -110. He really turned it on in the back half of the season like we were talking about. The Bucks defense is very bad, especially on the perimeter, and while Dame being out might make the defense on the perimeter a little bit better, I don't think it's going to be good enough to slow down Halliburton. I think he's going to score plenty of points in this game. Now, the danger with him is that he gets a little bit too pass happy and is getting everybody else involved too much to get to his number, but getting to 20 points here seems very, very reasonable, especially against this Bucks defense. And last but not least, guys, I like Kevin Porter Jr. here over 8.5 points at -130. The Bucks are searching for offensive, just offense in general that's coming from non-Giannis people. Now, Portis coming back doesn't necessarily help this situation for Porter Jr., but I do think with no Dame out there, they're going to need creation anytime the ball isn't in Giannis's hands, and he's not probably somebody they're going to play for all 48 minutes. I don't think that would be pretty wild stuff. So, yeah, definitely think him to get to 9 points in this game, despite it being at -130, is a very, very reasonable lean. Now, guys, hopping over to the West, we're looking at the LA Clippers going on the road here to take on the Denver Nuggets in game one of their series. Now, the Clippers come into this game probably riding pretty high. They got that big win against the Warriors to secure the 5 seed. They won 8 in a row heading into the end of the season, 9 out of their last 10. So this team is certainly playing great. Now, we saw guys like Norman Powell not have a great game there against the Warriors to finish things off, but I mean, you can't wait with the 124-119 win in your biggest game of the season. I think there's too much to be upset about. Now, the questions confronting the Clippers in the playoffs and in this series are kind of two main things. First up, and definitely most important, is the health of Kawhi Leonard. Is he going to be able to hold up here through the playoffs? Now, he's looked amazing this season. Don't get me wrong. Loved what we've seen from Kawhi. He's looked like the Kawhi of old almost here, over the last, I would say 10 or so games, something like that. He's looked amazing. He's looked much, much better on defense. The offense is really coming along. He's throwing down dunks, like everything you could possibly want to see from Kawhi. But I think we all know that we are one bad step from Kawhi away from the Clippers suddenly being without him for the rest of the season. So that's a big concern. I would say that's concern number one, although we don't have any reason to think he's going to get hurt or struggle except for all of the history that we have about Kawhi Leonard. Now, second, I think, and it's kind of almost like a 1A, not even a full-on second, James Harden and his playoff struggles. It's been a theme of his entire career. First up, it was, you don't get as many calls in the playoffs as you get in the regular season back when he was like 100% foul baiting constantly. Well, that was a huge problem, and now over the last couple of years, all of a sudden, that shot just does not seem like it's falling. Those step backs aren't going in. He's not getting to the bucket as well and not finishing as well once he gets there. So those have been the big problems for James Harden in the playoffs. Now, can he exercise those playoff demons this season? Sure. I think that's totally possible, but we would be crazy to just look right past that and think it's not going to be a problem, that it's just going to all be okay. So we'll see. We'll see how Harden can do here in the playoffs. Now, he's not facing the toughest defensive team here right off the back. That is certainly helpful. We also saw Norman Powell struggle a little bit at the end of the year. They're going to need him. They're going to need his scoring. The bench unit's looking pretty good. Chris Dunn coming in, a solid, stopper there. And he plays minutes. He's a starter, but he also plays plenty of minutes with the bench unit. Bogdanovich coming off the bench. His shot is a little bit hit or miss, no pun intended. Derrick Jones Jr. is going to play some big minutes, especially defensively coming off the bench. So, yeah, this team has some depth. It's got some real pieces, and they just need, the big dogs, Harden and Kawhi, to deliver. So we'll see if they're able to do that here going up against the Denver Nuggets, who finished their regular season kind of all over the place, I'll be honest. They won their last 3 in a row, but they were 5-5 over their last 10. They did secure home court advantage in the opening round, so that's good. Jokic comes in this game healthy, but a coaching change at this point in the season doesn't exactly fill me with optimism for this group. Now, Jamal Murray has come back. He's looked decent in, coming back, but he hasn't came back for much. Let's be super clear about that. Played back on the 13th and on the 11th. Played okay in both of those games, but obviously, not maybe at full tilt. He played 32 and then 25 minutes in those games. Both of them were wins. He played serviceably well. Now, maybe not the Jamal Murray we've seen of old, but maybe bro's just trying to work his way back in. So liking what we're seeing from Jamal Murray, that is vital for this group, for them to have him, out there and playing well. Now, what kind of mix are we going to see? How much are we going to see Russell Westbrook in these games? How much are we going to see Peyton Watson? I think the starting lineup here for the Nuggets looks insane. Christian Brown stepped up huge this season. Obviously, Jamal Murray being back is a big deal. Michael Porter Jr. can be a difference maker for either team, though, so that's a concern. Aaron Gordon, obviously, clutch out there. Huge to have him out there. And Jokic, the best player in the world right now. So liking a lot of things for the Nuggets. Now, that second unit, though, is a big concern, and just surviving the non-Jokic minutes is a big ask for this team. So we'll see if they're capable of doing that. They haven't been a very good defensive team over the course of the season either, and going up against the Clippers team that can score it, that is definitely a problem. Now, is Jokic going to struggle against Zubac? Seems unlikely to me. Will he struggle to defend Zubac, though? That is definitely something that's on my radar. So we'll be watching that matchup very closely. Looking at the numbers here, the Nuggets are favorites in this game. They're 2.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 225. The Clippers, 19-22 against spread on the road, 21-19-1 to the under on the road. Denver, 18-22-1 against spread at home, 26-15 to the over at home. So this is a spot with a total of 225. I definitely like the over. I think we're going to see tons of offense in this game. I think we're going to see both teams scoring in the 120s. I think that's more likely than seeing both teams score, in the hundreds. Like it's going to be, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think we'll see plenty of offense out there. Now, in terms of a side, here in game one, I'm actually leaning a little bit towards the Clippers and the points. It's not my favorite pick, guys. I'm going to be real honest. It's not my favorite lean. The side is really difficult to figure out here, especially in game one of this series, in game one of opening round playoff series in general. But I do think the over here is very live to end up in the pinned comment. Now, guys, we've got a couple of props that I think are very live in this game. Both have a good chance to end up in the pinned comment. And first up, Christian Brown, like we were just talking about, His total on rebounds is 4.5 at -125. I love this prop. He flies around out there. He was over that number in 4 out of his last 5 games. I do worry about a little bit having Zubac in there, but Jokic isn't somebody that's, trying to grab rebounds away from people. Like, if Christian Brown's going to get there, we are more than happy to, Jokic is going to be more than happy to let him have it. And just to get to 5 rebounds for a guy that plays with such a high level of effort and such a high motor, I think getting to 5 rebounds is extremely live and has a great chance to end up in the pinned comment of this video. And secondly, looking at a Clippers prop here, I like Kawhi to continue to cook out there. He's been amazing down the stretch. I'm taking him over 30.5 points plus rebounds. Over his last 4 games, he's gotten over this number very easily. Clearly going to play a ton of minutes, which he's been doing down the stretch here with no ill effects so far. We do worry a little bit about the potential of him getting injured in this game, but use bankroll management, guys. Be smart. I think they'll be fine out there, and I think he'll have a big game in this one. Despite playing at altitude, I don't think that's a huge problem. Like, which guy in the starting lineup there for the Denver Nuggets are you scared to have Kawhi Leonard go up against? Like, I don't think he's scared of anybody. Maybe Aaron Gordon, but I think Kawhi's faster than Aaron Gordon. So yeah, just go ahead and give me Kawhi to get over his points plus rebounds. Another player prop here, guys, that has a very good chance to end up in the pinned comment. Jumping back to the Eastern Conference for this next one, we are looking at the Detroit Pistons going on the road to start their playoff run against the New York Knicks. The Pistons, obviously, the come out of nowhere kind of team here this season. Maybe not come out of nowhere. Everybody expected them to take a big leap forward after, being coached by one of the worst coaching performances in modern history there last season, but things have completely turned around this season. Now, they didn't finish the year very strong, losing 6 out of their last 10, but they ended up 44-38 on the season. They didn't have a ton to play for down the stretch. They were resting Cade, and I think that was a pretty smart thing for them to do, but overall, I think they've got to be pumped about what has happened this year. Now, the question is, are they just going to be happy to be in the playoffs, or are they ready to go and ready to make some noise? Now, we'll have to wait and see. Cade obviously comes in this game playing amazing. He's had an incredible season. Honestly, he's still an undervalued guy out there. Tim Hardaway Jr. definitely provides shooting. I'm not sure if he provides too much else. Asar Thompson, a good defender, maybe a little bit challenged offensively. Tobias Harris, solid, doing his thing out there. Jalen Duren doing his thing as well. The real offensive pop from this team, aside from Cade, really comes from Malik Beasley and his outside shooting. We'll see if he's making his shots in this game going up against the Knicks, a team that's been really bad defensively. I could see him having a big game. Dennis Schroeder has been an underrated and under-discussed addition for this team as well down the stretch, so loving that. There has been some talk that we could see Jaden Ivey here in the playoffs, and yeah, it sounds like while he's making progress in his recovery from that broken left fibula due to that crazy Cole Anthony dive, he, we'll see. It's possible, but it's going to be at least a few more weeks. So Detroit would have to advance past the first round, really, for us to see Jaden Ivey out there. So that'd be a cool story if he came back, but it seems a little bit unlikely at this point. So we'll see what this Pistons roster can do going up against the New York Knicks, a team that was hailed as, going to be so incredible coming into this season. They were good. They were very good offensively. They ended up with the 3 seed, so that has to feel great. They finished the season winning 6 out of their last 10. They dealt with a little bit of injury, not nearly the amount of injury you would expect from a Thibodeau coach team being ran into the ground by the end of the season, but they did get the 3 seed, so they can be happy about that. Now, are they happy about the record they had against the better teams this year, the top contender kind of teams? I would say no, but we'll see what they can do in this one, guys. Obviously, this is a Tibbs coach team, so we expect the starters to play a crazy amount of minutes. OG Anunoby dealing with that thumb thing, sat out, but I think he's fine. I don't think there's any real injury concerns here. Jalen Brunson missing some time at the end of the year, but I think that was very helpful for him in general. And he came back and he played well, so we're not worried about him. I'm sure Bro's going to be at 100%. Mikal Bridges, obviously keeping that, games started streak alive, but dude is a monster out there. Now the shot can come and go a little bit. That is something to keep an eye on. Josh Hart, obviously one of the highest effort guys in the NBA, expecting good stuff from him here in the playoffs. OG Anunoby, good, very good. His scoring has looked better and better over the course of the season. I think the real X factor here for the Knicks is going to be whether Karl Anthony Towns can exercise some of those playoff demons, because the jump shot has deserted him in the playoffs. That's probably what leads to him being on this Knicks team, was how he struggled last year in the playoffs for the Timberwolves. So we'll see what happens for Cat. I'm hoping for good stuff for him, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, the bench unit doesn't matter too much here for the Knicks. I mean, Miles McBride's going to get some minutes, but other than that, you're going to see very little minutes played by everybody else. Mitchell Robinson might get in there from time to time. Precious Achiuwa could be used situationally, but Tibbs not going to be playing the bench guys a lot. So here early in a series, probably the time you want to be back in the Knicks. Later in the series, these guys could be a little bit exhausted. So we'll see what happens here, guys. Looking at the numbers, the Knicks are 7-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 220.5. Detroit 23-16-2 against spread on the road, 21-18-2 to the over on the road. The Knicks 21-19-1 against the spread at home, 22-19 to the over at home. This is another game, guys. I think it's very, very reasonable to back the over. Both teams showing some small trends. I don't really care too much about that, but I think the Knicks are going to score a lot of points. I think the Pistons are going to have to try and match them, and I think they're capable of that, especially since the Knicks defense has been so much less good than expected. So definitely think this is a good spot to take the over. In terms of the side, I'm going to be leaning a bit towards the home team, a bit towards the Knicks in this one, just on the off chance that maybe the moment's a little bit big here in game one of their playoff series for the Pistons, and maybe we don't see the final form, like the real Pistons, come out until they're back at home playing in game three, but we'll see how that goes. I am taking a slight lean here towards the Knicks here at -7 because they're going to be fresh coming into this game, not something that you always see from a Tom Thibodeau coach team. Hopping over to look at some player props for this game, we've got 3 that I think are very, very good. First up, Cade over 27.5 points in this game at -110. He has to carry a huge scoring load for this team. Bro has been cooking. He had 36 points against the Knicks the last time they faced each other. Now, I don't know if he's going to go off for 36 in this game, but getting to 30 seems very, very reasonable. Not a lot of premium level defense being played by the Knicks this season. Like, Mikal Bridges was supposed to be brought over as some sort of crazy stopper. Yeah, that just really has not been the reality this season. I worry a little bit about him going up against OG Anunoby or somebody, but I think Cade is faster and can score from the outside if he needs to, and I don't think Josh Hart is big enough. So all of that leads to me thinking Cade going to have a very good day out there offensively. Now, I also think Malik Beasley probably going to struggle a bit. I'm taking him under 14.5 points in this game. Bro is not going to have a great time in the playoffs, at least not on the road. And if his shot isn't falling and like really, really falling, I think that falling, there's no chance he gets to 15 points in this game. I expect him to struggle a little bit. I think he's somebody that can be shut down by super high effort defense. And at minimum, that's what you're going to see from the Knicks. Now, I'm not sure how effective it's going to be against a guy like Cade, who can make a lot of his scoring happens at the bucket and at the line. Beasley, that's not the case. So I expect him to definitely struggle in this game. And last but not least, guys, I like Karl-Anthony Towns here over 11.5 rebounds at -120. He's been insane all year long on the boards. He's been great. He's going to play a wild amount of minutes here in the playoffs, especially in game one, unless it's weirdly some kind of crazy blowout. And even then, Tibbs doesn't usually take guys out. So Cat getting to 12 boards in this game feels like a foregone conclusion to me. I think this prop has a fantastic chance to end up in the pinned comment. Now, guys, headed back to the Western Conference for our last game of the night. Our nightcap is the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Timberwolves, not gonna lie, guys, a pretty weird year. They do end up 49-33 in the season, so almost a 50-win season. They end up in the 6th seed, so they do avoid the play-in, but it got real sketchy there down the stretch. They did go 8-2 over the last 10 games. That's certainly helpful. We were very disenchanted with this team early on. The whole trading away Cat, getting Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo did not seem to be working out. And while I'm not 100% sold on that trade still, it's looking like it's working out a bit better. We've seen Julius Randle get integrated into this offense a little bit more. It's starting to work a little bit better. DiVincenzo is a premium level bench player. Like, I don't even know if dude really deserves to be a bench player. Like, a lot of teams he would be a starter. A lot of teams. So we'll see what they're able to do out there. My concerns here for the Timberwolves, what are we going to get out of Mike Conley here in the playoffs? You know, the intensity gets ratcheted up. He's an older player. Obviously, I think they need his steadying influence out there, but it does worry me a little bit. Also, not a big guy, not a great defensive guy, so that's been a problem. The Timberwolves defense has been a little bit all over the place this season. Anthony Edwards, somebody I'm not worried about. I'm expecting him to have a big playoffs here just in general. Now, he's turned himself into very much the three-point shooter as opposed to anything else, so that's a bit of a concern, although he shoots it really well, so I'm not too worried about that. Jaden McDaniels, a solid defensive stopper there. They're going to need him to... He's got a couple pretty big tasks out there, so we'll see what he's able to do. He's going to be outsized in both of them, so we'll see what happens there. Julius Randle. I am concerned about the last couple of guys here more than anybody else. Julius Randle, definitely a ball stopper at times, definitely somebody who can try and take over, play a little bit of a hero ball, and when you got Anthony Edwards on your team, that needs to not be happening. If anybody's going to play hero ball for the Timberwolves, it needs to be Anthony Edwards. So definitely worried about Julius Randle, someone who's had playoff struggles before, just for the record. And right there next to him at center, I am extremely worried about what Rudy Gobert is going to do out there for the Timberwolves. Bro can get played off the court at pretty much any time if they go small. Like, you want to see Rudy Gobert get switched out on Luka? Like, Luka is going to cook Rudy Gobert. You want to see Austin Reeves get Rudy Gobert switched onto Austin Reeves? Rudy Gobert is going to get cooked by Austin Reeves. Even LeBron. Like, I don't know, guys. I'm worried about the Rudy Gobert situation. Also, the Lakers are a team that would be more than happy to go 5 out, and then what's Rudy Gobert supposed to do? So we'll see what happens with that one, guys. I'm worried about that. Now, the backups, that looks okay. I mean, DiVincenzo, like we were just talking about. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, like we were just talking about. Naz Reid, he's been killing it lately and just kind of in general his whole career. And he's somebody that tends to step up big in the playoffs. So I'm expecting big stuff from Naz Reid. Now, will it be enough to result in a win here for the Timberwolves? We'll have to wait and see, guys. I mean, they're taking on a pretty tough and drastically different looking Lakers team than we would have expected to see by the end of the season. Now, the Lakers, they accomplished both major goals that JJ Redick set out for them. He wanted them to be a 50-win team. Check. He wanted them to make the 3 seed out there in the West. And sure enough, guys, they finished things up in the 3 seed. So very, very impressive stuff there for the Lakers. They finished their season off. They didn't have a ton to play for down the stretch, but they still went 6-4 over their last 10. So they will definitely take it. I mean, they had some to play for, but they kind of handled their positioning pretty well. So the Lakers played well down the stretch. They come into this game and into this postseason kind of looking at this, I feel like they're a team, this is probably the least pressure that a LeBron James-led basketball team has had in the playoffs in quite some time, because after that Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic trade, it kind of feels like this is just a, see what you guys can do kind of year before the roster gets reshaped around guys like LeBron and Luka. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, bringing in Luka, a crazy upgrade there for the Lakers, especially in their long-term trajectory. And Luka's played really well. He seemed like he's getting in much better shape, getting fully recovered from that injury. That was why he was missing time there for Dallas. He's playing really well. Austin Reeves is playing great. Having Rui Hachimura back is a big deal. If he's making his shots, this team becomes nearly unguardable. And LeBron is playing at an obviously crazy insane level for somebody his age. Now, the problem for the Lakers is the center position. Jackson Hayes has done some good stuff. Catching lobs from Luka looks pretty easy, but if they have to go up against a legitimate big man, is Rudy Gobert a legitimate big man? I kind of think no, but we'll see what he can do out there, see how many minutes he plays, because the Lakers are more than comfortable putting guys like Dorian Finney-Smith there in the center role. Jared Vanderbilt's going to come in and play some defense. And yeah, Gabe Vincent can even come in and knock down some threes. Obviously, he's not going to have anything to do with guarding guys, like Rudy Gobert, but still, pretty interesting to see. Gabe Vincent can win you a playoff game if weirder things have happened than that. So we'll see what happens out there. I am concerned about the Lakers' lack of a center. That is a problem, but maybe not as big of a problem in this specific matchup. So we'll see what happens, guys. Obviously, very impressed with what we've seen from the Lakers. Now, defense is another problem. You got a defense out there. You got to find some way to defend when you got Luka and Austin Reeves on the floor. Like, that's not great. Like, Hachimura can play good defense. LeBron is capable, not always, of playing good defense. Obviously, Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith, great defenders when they're out there. So we'll see how things look for the Lakers on defense. I think that could be a bit of a concern in this matchup because somebody got to go out there and guard Anthony Edwards. I would assume it's going to be somebody like Vanderbilt, maybe, but we'll have to see. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with Ant in this game. So that's a concern for me in this one for sure. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Lakers, 4.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 216 out there. Minnesota, 22-19 against the spread on the road, 21-22 the under on the road. The Lakers, 27-14 against the spread at home, 21-20 to the under at home. Guys, I'm leaning towards the Lakers here at -4.5, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't have a good chance to end up in the pinned comment. I don't think we're going to see Rudy Gobert have a very good time out there. I don't think we're going to see Julius Randle have a very good time. I think JJ Redick is probably the better X's and O's guy, especially with the players that he has available to him right now. So I'm definitely liking the Lakers at -4.5 in this game a good amount. That has a great chance to end up in the pinned comment. And I also like the over in this game. Over 216 seems extremely reasonable. I think we're going to see plenty of offense out there. Maybe the Timberwolves will want to slow it down, but they're also a team that wants to shoot it. So unless we see bad shooting from these two teams, I think getting over this very small 216 number is extremely live. Now, on the prop side, you can maybe guess some of these props that I'm going to be looking at. And first up, I like Julius Randle here under 18.5 points at even odds. Bro has not been good in the playoffs, and while he's played a little bit better here down the stretch, I think we're going to see the wheels come off here in the playoffs. Julius Randle, not somebody I'm a huge fan of. I think he's kind of holding Anthony Edwards back. I just don't like it. I think he's going to struggle out there. I think he's going to have a really hard time getting to 19 points. And right there on the same side of the coin, I like Randall under 1.5 threes made at -120. That shot, I don't think is going to look very good out there here in the playoffs at all. It's not like he's necessarily been shooting the lights out down the stretch either. So yeah, definitely give me Julius Randle to struggle a lot in this game. You could take the under on pretty much any of his numbers, and I wouldn't have too big of a problem with it. Now on the Lakers side, I like Luka here, and this is just a flyer play. It's plus 600, but I like Luka to record a triple-double a little bit. He can absolutely do it out there, especially in this matchup. Like, I'm not scared of any defender that the Timberwolves can really run at Luka. The Lakers could play Gobert off the floor, and I don't think the Timberwolves have the size to defend Luka on the perimeter. So, yeah, Luka to get a triple-double, I think it's live in this game. And especially at plus 600, that would be a pretty fun one to take a flyer on. And last but not least, guys, I like Rudy Gobert to struggle. I'll take him under 22.5 points plus rebounds at -115. I think the Lakers can and most likely will play him off the floor if they want to, and they would love to play with no big man. I think that will be for sure something that's a focus for them. After he gets called up on 2 to 3 switches and gets cooked out there by Luka or Reeves, I think his game is going to get very abbreviated. I don't know if it'll be over, but it might be over. Also, if he's getting pulled out to the perimeter, he's going to get a lot less rebounds as well. That helps with this play additionally. So this one, along with several other props, has a great chance to end up in that pinned comment. That's all the games we have here for Saturday, guys. Do me a big favor, hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Forgive me for no recap in these videos, guys. We are traveling for Easter, so we're recording these a little bit early. It's baby Stump's first Easter out there, so gonna get out there, gonna see the family, gonna do a little bit of celebrating. Thank you for watching. Click the link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com, get on that free email list. Tons of great information for you over there, and we will see you guys on Sunday for more NBA sports betting action.